Hello, this is Heidi Ellsworth with Roofers Coffee Shop, and we are in Innsbruck, Austria for the IFD Young Roofers Competition. If you haven't been watching all these videos, you will need to go back and see all the teams. This is actually our last interview of mentors and coaches for today, but trust me, you're going to have a lot more videos coming over the next 3 days of the competition. This is the International Federation of Dockenwan or Roofing Contractors, and it happens every 2 years. And this is the first time that the U.S. has been involved. Big deal, so exciting, and we wanted you to meet everyone who's involved. So for the medal team out of Phoenix, Arizona, we have Sean, Ridian, and Eric, who are here from Global Roofing Group. Gentlemen, welcome.
Here.
It is. You know what? Eric was the first person we met in Chicago. He was walking by with the NRCA shirt on, and we're like, "Hey, are you going to Austria?"
Who are you?
Who are you? What are you doing? So it's been really fun to get to know this team and get to know everyone. So we're going to start out with some introductions. So let's start down on this end, okay. Eric, and introduce yourself. Tell us about your company and what you do there.
Got it. Well, I'm Eric Stiller. I'm the president of the what we call our global wall panel group within Global Roofing Group. Let's see, how I got into it was, I don't know, about 13 years ago or so. Some partners and I bought a metal company, architectural metal company, where we are standing seam roofing and wall panels.
Yeah.
And about a year ago, we sold that business to Global, and so we built a metal business inside of Global, working with RJ and our CEO.
Yeah.
Been super fun, and the opportunities with Global have been just amazing since then. You know, the ability to grow and bring some of the interesting architectural details to Phoenix and around the country. So we're having a ball with that.
Watching your growth, and yeah. RJ, hello. We've been saying hi to all the others out there. But watching your growth has been phenomenal. It's and everything that you do. So, Ridian.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay.
Tell us how you got into roofing. You have a little interesting story.
I know, it's way too long, so we're just gonna cut it a little short this time. So, started construction, pretty much done construction all my life, but figured out there was metal roofing in 2007. Start doing that as labor, and quite honest, loved it. And one day, just driving home, talking to myself, having thoughts pretty much, I told myself, like, hey, this is what you're going to be doing. I guess you're never going to be a lawyer or a doctor, so do this, right? And that's how I fell in love with it. And kept doing that, grew with knowledge pretty much. Became a foreman down in Italy, and in 2013 is when I moved to the United States and looked for work over there until I got to know Global, or back in the day called Roofing Southwest. Started with them as a foreman and became a superintendent at one point, and then some years later a project manager, which is a position at Coburg currently.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, you bring a nice international flair to the U.S. team. Just saying.
And some interpreting too.
Yeah.
I would say yes, but
translate some menus for us.
US has its own challenges that you need to learn every day, and it don't matter how long you've been there, there's always something new. So
always something learning. So. It's so true. And Sean, can you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
Yeah, I'm Sean Wood, the VP of Operations for the metal team. So I've been with Global for about 10 years and just started roofing straight out of high school, and worked my way up through the channels, and just kept focused and driven, and here I am today.
The American story. We've been hearing that a lot today. It's pretty beautiful. So, okay, we one of the things we haven't really talked about is that role of mentor coach during this competition. So as you all were talking with RJ and talking with everyone and putting your team together, talk a little bit about how you three got involved and how and what you've been doing to kind of help prepare for this competition. Let's start down here.
Well, I'm kind of like a typical executive. I'm just coming in here at the end and taking credit. That's really all I'm doing, okay? So RJ asked me to be here just to take care of the guys. I'm just trying to seriously host, make sure everybody's, they have what they need. And for me, it's just knocking down barriers.
Yeah.
Here's the coach right here. Rudy's
This
the
is
coach.
the guy.
He's the man. He's one. He's one of working with the guys and doing the real hard work of the thing. So that's.
And you're going to get to be in the demo area with them
Yes,
the whole
ma'am.
time, right?
Yes, ma'am. I heard there is a line I cannot step in, but
Yeah. So what has that been like preparing with your team? And
definitely been challenging, but at the same time, we had fun, right? We got to show the guys some roofing installation systems that I used to know on the tip of my fingers about 15 years ago, and haven't touched that since. Just like the guy said before, like that style is not used in US. So when it was offered to me, it's like, oh, I'll do it. It's something I know. It's something like I was proud of myself back in the day, and I thought like I would have it actually on my muscle memory and stuff. So I remember that first day I'm trying to do it. It's like, oh hell, can't remember how to use this thing. But anywho, after tried it a couple times, it came back little by little, but certainly, and but again, like as hard as it's been, those two guys up there had made it easier by following directions and actually trying to help on how to figure out certain things that I couldn't have done it myself. So
that's great. So real team.
A real team, yes, yes, ma'am.
And that's been the most challenging part, is because we're doing a competition for systems that we don't do in the U.S. Right. So like I think we've got the biggest challenge in front of us, because we're literally learning. We've been for the past couple months learning how to do this system to compete, right? So it's a whole new aspect of system, different type of systems that we just don't do and we don't know.
How did you do that, Sean? How did you guys put the mock-ups together and really, get the materials or the practice?
It's really, so this guy right here, when it came to the details, because like he said, he did it in the past. He learned roofing in Italy, right? So he did it in Europe. So he knew these systems. So when they came to me for the coach, I turned to him and said, "Hey, I think this should be our coach. Right? He knows what he's doing. I'm going to be learning it as well." However, getting the materials and stuff was challenging, because it's a different type of materials than what we use in the U.S. It's more malleable. It's softer metals. So we practiced a lot with copper. Prior to us even getting the materials, and I don't think we got the materials until probably a month ago.
Okay.
So we
a lot of practice since then.
We only had
1 month of intense
couple
practice,
weeks of practicing with the actual material.
Right.
So,
wow. And what about Doug and Casey? How did they? They were just on here. If you haven't watched their interview, be sure. But when you all decided, I'm assuming you all kind of talked about who we're going to have do this. What were the reasons that you picked them?
Okay, so the reason picking Doug and Casey is because just to make our lives a little easier, you know what I'm saying? Because we could have just picked anybody else, but also you're picking from the best, right? So kudos to them. But yeah, no, they helped throughout the journey, and I think they got it, and I think they'll get the first place actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I like that.
Their attitude when they're in the interview, right? They're just these are ambitious, smart. Young guys.
Yeah.
So these are the right people you want to represent your team,
I have been blown away by all of the competitors.
Yeah, and these two gentlemen have worked their way up in our industry. They're young. However, they've shown drive. They've shown heart, and you heard them both say, one of them's a superintendent at a young age.
Yeah.
One of them is a foreman at a young age.
Yeah.
Because these guys are able to lead people. Right. One of the most important things out there.
Right. And they're able to install some pretty cool metal. That's what's happening. Okay, so we have the next 3 days that we're going to be going through, and tomorrow, talk about the system that they're going to be working on tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow they will be working on a double lock standing seam, which includes a low slope roof to a steeper roof. They'll be working on those connections with a dormer next to it. And then the second day there will be a steep roof with a valley involved with that, with some tapered panels and some piping detailing, and some skylights.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. And then the third day.
third day is on them. We can share everything.
Yeah.
We just know we're gonna be there.
I'm telling you,
I'm just telling you, we're gonna be there.
the suspense for the third day is really building here in Innsbruck. I'm telling you. So you talked a little bit about the challenges of different systems and stuff. What would you say? I mean, when you're looking at, I know when we were talking with the steep slope team, they were talking about going up the valley was totally different. The flashings. What were some of the things that really were probably the top learning curve in these systems?
So really everything. So, the type of systems that we do in the U.S. there's a lot of cutting, lapping, sealant, right? There's no sealant here. So everything, because the materials are more malleable, so you're folding and bending the metal to make your laps and everything versus there's no cuts. Right, everything gets folded, lapped, and then hammered over.
Wow. Okay.
So it's like they use the term 10 knocker. Are actually going to be doing a lot of hammering to the system to get it to roll properly.
Right.
So it's everything about it is different.
That's different. And tools. I'm trying to remember, but it seemed like you guys brought your own tools. Is that right?
We brought
Some.
Tools
Yeah.
are completely different as well.
Yeah.
So we actually bought some European tools, once again, based off this gentleman's knowledge. He knew what we needed, and we got them purchased and got them in as soon as possible. So.
Yeah. Was it fun? Kind of using your old tools?
Yeah, no, it was fun. I quite honest, again, was that nostalgia that I had about those tools, and I kind of added some extra just so I can touch them again. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, it was fun.
I love it. So. Okay, we're Friday is the big gala, and everybody's going to be all dressed up. I mean, just looking at the camaraderie I'm already seeing between the teams and them getting to know each other. It's one thing that the international, and now we'll get to meet all these other teams, but just within the U.S., I've been really impressed with how everyone's kind of gotten to know each other. They're hanging out and doing things. What are some of your thoughts about what this means for the U.S. and for your company and for the families back at home when it really comes around roofing respect and this fact that this is our first competition? Start with you, Sean.
Well, I mean, it's this is something that we've never done before, right? So it's looking forward to, this is the first time, right? So we're learning. Hopefully we come back again in 2 years or whatever, or pave a way for other individuals to come. Very
Roofing is.
Yeah.
I know. What does it mean to you and your family? And
Oh man, to me it means a lot. Quite honest, I feel like a rock star right now. So being recognized for what you do, you've got the sports out there. They get interviewed and they do competition and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Thinking that's roofing is no one believe it, but here we got the proof. So it means a lot. And, yes.
that it's really it's such an honor to be able to interview you all and to be able to be a part of this, because it does feel that way, and we're kind of doing first time too. So there you go. Here we are. Eric, what do you think it means for the industry overall and for all the young people coming in?
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes the trades get a bad rap. Everybody wants their kids to go to college, or that's been the story for the last 20 years. This is proof that you can build an incredibly great career starting from right out of high school.
Yes.
And if you have that aptitude, you can build a great career, take care of your family in ways that you may not have even been able to do if you went and got a different kind of degree.
Yeah.
So one, and then being here in Europe, it just reminds you, you're in your bubble in your country, right? We have a bubble in Arizona, and then we have a little bit bigger bubble that's in other parts of the country. But when you get to someplace like Europe, and everything's different, it makes you realize that there's tradespeople all around the world doing the kinds of things we do. You're kind of part of something bigger.
Yeah.
So it's great to have our team, see that and be part of that, and then go back to the U.S. and speak about it and kind of be ambassadors about that. So it gives a whole professionalism to the whole deal.
It does.
It's absolutely awesome.
At the end of the day, again, I have to go back to roofing respect. It's just,
Yeah, you
this
bet.
really brings the respect and the professionalism into the spotlight in ways that we haven't been able to do before.
Yeah.
And so, well, gentlemen, good luck. We're going to be watching, and we're going to be videotaping you as you're staying on the right side of the line.
Make sure.
Just make sure.
Make sure I don't step, and if not, call me out with a yellow card or something.
Make sure. So stay tuned. This is our last interview for today, but we're going to be heading over to the competition later on this afternoon with all of these folks, and we will be taking some pictures, some video as we do coin toss, as they tell us what's going on across the board, and a lot of festivities, I think, every night this week. So we're off and we're running. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned and let everyone know about this. Please share these videos out to the roofing industry overall, because there is just a lot of pride and wonderful people who are involved with this, and we want to share it to everyone. So thank you so much. We'll see you at the competition next.